Hello everyone, Pallytime here. Welcome back to the 8th Rizzy playthrough. We have landed on Falstad today. There are my notes. Not too much has changed for Falstad in the past year. They did go back in and redo his Gathering Storm to make it a little more mana efficient. Basically, there were two ways to play Falstad before: auto attack build or Mage Stad, which was focused on throwing out Qs as often as possible. The issue with Mage Stad is that you would go completely out of mana before you could really deal much damage in a team fight. And the issue with the auto attack build is you had to be really, really close range and you didn't have much burst. That's why I do a hybrid of the two. We also saw a W build for Falstad starting to emerge. It's actually pretty powerful as well, picking up Wingman at level 1 to increase its effectiveness throughout the game, which is pretty cool as well. So, a lot of build variety for Falstad right now. Like I said, I do a hybrid between the Mage Stad and the auto attack build. That's my favorite way to play him. He was added into the game on March 13th. He was one of the launch heroes. His current win rate is 49.6%. I do think he's difficult to play, more so than most people give him credit for. And he is... I didn't write the number. His popularity in the Nexus is 12.5%. I think he was like the 13th or something most popular assassin, somewhere in that neighborhood. So not high on the list, but not towards the bottom either. We're going to play him today with viewers once again, and hopefully I can show you, 17th chat said is what he was. Hopefully I can show you a little bit about one of my favorite characters. Look. As far as XP goes, number fucking 2. Let's fly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we find ourselves in the Sky Temple. Hey! Thank you. Wait, what was that?
So, can we get a chair emote?
Can we get a chair emote? Maybe, but I'll definitely give you a push-up for the $10. If you guys don't know, if you're watching this on YouTube and you don't stop by at Twitch very often, I'm currently doing a Buff for BlizzCon campaign. For every $10 donated between, straight donations or bits, I'll do a push-up. And for every sub or gifted sub, I'll do a push-up. The first day we did it, I did like 70. The next day, we did like a fucking 100. It's hard. It's really fucking hard. Okay, so I'm going to go for Season Marksman. I have my build all figured out for Falstad. I know some people don't like it. I don't care what some people think. Hey! Falstad's Q ability is the Hammerang. This is a straight line skill shot. You throw it out, it comes back to you. Our W ability is the Lightning Rod. You place this on a target and they take damage as long as they stay within range of the ability. Our E ability is the Barrel Roll, allows us to dive forward, and our trait that can go over terrain as well, which is quite nice. And our trait allows us to get a movement speed increase if we've been out of combat for a certain amount of time, which allows us to rotate around a little bit easier. But we never move in mount speed. We're at 115%. Mount speed is at 130 right now. I'm trying to rotate in between these two lanes because I want to get as many of these minions' last hits as I can. So hopefully the friendly team will work with me a little bit on that and not clear the lanes out before I get there. Our Q ability is going to become the main way that we actually clear these lanes out, but our auto attacks are going to scale up to be quite powerful throughout the course of this match as well. So, nice hybrid build. Not pure auto attacker, not pure mage, a little bit of A, a little bit of B. We can go ahead and just put the Lightning Rod on Azmodan to try to force him back, but he has the Red Spaghetti, which does a lot of damage. All right, rotating back. Save me some minions, Spicy Tuna! Save me some minions! Thanks. Oh, good spot. I could have committed for that. You gotta dodge that! Oh! Scary. Scary. What's going on up here? Alright. Grab the region globe, keep rotating. Keep rotating. Now, Falstad was the first assassin to have that global ultimate, or global mount, so he can fly pretty much across the map whenever the mood fits him. and put pressure on any lane or clean up any pressure that's being provided by the enemy team in any lane. At level 4, we're going to go for hammer gains. We're scaling up our auto attacks with Seasoned Marksman. Now, we're going to heal for some of the amount that we're scaling up, which is quite nice. Sylvanas for the enemy team did grab that mercenary camp there. Let me grab these 2 regen globes. Asmodan trying to trade, not going to work out for him. He's going to be taken down. Way overextended there, bud. I'll just go ahead and clean this up with our Tantalus. I know the character's named Artanis, but every time I've seen Tantalus, he's playing Artanis, so it's a Tantalus, okay? It's a fucking Tantalus. Go ahead and clean this up. We're pretty much out of mana, but we can still fly up and trade in some auto attacks versus this enemy team if they are contesting middle. If they're not actually contesting middle, then we can simply move over here and get the regen globes instead. Of course, player kills also stack up Seasoned Marksman. We get 1 attack damage per minion that dies, or wait, how does it work? That's not true. We get, what, 0.2 for every minion that dies? Hold on, I want to be accurate here. Also got to watch where I'm standing. Okay. Seasoned Marksman. Every minion killed near you grants 0.2 attack damage. So I was right about that part after I corrected myself. And takedowns grant 0.5 attack damage. This all stacks up to 40. As of right now, we're at 15 stacks of Seasoned Marksman. And eventually, we're just going to hit really hard. That's what we're doing. We're just going to hit really hard. Hi, team! I'm a little too far forward for this person flanking me. We can go ahead and barrel roll here and hopefully dodge that grenade. Fucking predicted. Oh, he's going that way, huh? He can grenade me again, though. We're fine. We're fine. I need to go back. I need to go back. Because I have to use my global powers to stop this woman from taking everything that we own and cherish. No problem. I'm not in the middle of my fucking webcam because the second webcam always moves. Go away! Alright. That'll teach you to mess with my shit. Now, unfortunately, Falstad was also the recipient of, in my opinion, one of the worst changes to be added into the game. If you're trying to fly and you double tap the Z button to, I don't know, confirm where you're going or change it slightly, instead of it just going to the new location, it puts your fly on a 10-second cooldown. And that has gotten me killed more than any other change ever implemented into this fucking game. And I really hate it, and I'm salty about it. And I threw my hammer the wrong way. And I hope one day it gets reverted. Abathur was affected by this same thing. Dahaka was affected by this same thing. I think they were the only ones. But it's irritating, and I really just don't like it. I don't like it at all, and I hope it gets changed. Gotta back up. Get some health back here. Now, just a few days ago, I believe 9 days ago at this point, Falstad did receive another change, making it so his Q ability costs a little bit less mana, and also kind of touching up some of his cooldowns as well to make it so he can just be a little bit more effective on the battlefield, trying to bring him in line with other assassins in the game. In my opinion, he's always been one of the more difficult assassins to play. Not that he's super hard, but you do need a lot of technical skill to pull off everything properly, and you do have to have decent map awareness as well. For instance, my map awareness was lacking, and I wasn't able to defend against this, which I should have been able to do. So it does take a lot of concentration to play him properly, I think. We did go for the Hinterlands No, we didn't. We went for the Mighty Gust on Falstad. Now, Falstad actually has a pretty interesting heroic ability history. He used to have another one entirely, and it was called Aerial Blitzkrieg. Oh. Okay. That was awkward. Aerial Blitzkrieg was a 1-second channel time to pretty much stun everything on the screen around you. It was an AoE stun. Think of Divine Hurricane, but with a channel time and a level 10. which could be very effective in team fights. Don't get me wrong, it was quite good in team fights. But it didn't really fit with his play style, because at the time he was a super delicate hero that had to sit on the back line in order to be safe. So giving him an ability where he had to charge right in and deal damage didn't really make sense. But what I learned very recently, and I forgot to write it down in my fun notes, is that Falstad also used to have like a charge ability. Or maybe that was Arthas. Maybe it was... Okay, maybe I made that up. I don't remember. But I was thinking that maybe he had... I was just talking to a developer, and I can't remember if it was Arthas or Falstad. He had a charge ability, which made aerial Blitzkrieg make a lot more sense. But as his playstyle evolved, you know, it just didn't fit in with the rest of his kit anymore, so they changed it.
Choose a talent.
Uh-oh. So it looks like this enemy team is just going to push while we're off doing other things.
Sounds great.
Let's go ahead and get those guys killed, shall we? That was the Mighty Gust in action, one of the strongest repositioning tools you could ever hope to have. Really, 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 really good. Really, really good. We are going to pick up Giant Killer here. This is going to help out versus Azmodan, one of the highest health heroes in the game, but it's also going to give us percentage damage increases versus everyone on the enemy team. Not just the big guy. Not just the big guy. Shock and Awe used to be the name of Hinterland Blast, and I have to say I'm still a fan of that name much more than Hinterland Blast, even though it does have more lore connections and shit. Like, Shock and Awe is just a good name, and it's a flashy ability that deserves a good name.
The sky's away.
Wait, are we not fighting? Because I totally just flew up for this. I was ready. This mind control is starting to fuck up. It's starting to mess you up a little bit. Oh, I need to get away from the... I need to get away from the Tychus, though. I'm gonna go back down to the bottom lane, I think. Or maybe I'll just push. I have so many options here. We're almost done with our... We're almost done with our Season Marksman quest, so I can kind of just do whatever I want. We have our flight up again in 25 seconds. But we have numbers advantage, so I'm not too worried about this enemy team at the moment. They are starting to surround me a little bit. I'm going to ping for some assistance here, as I know what I'm walking into. Okay, we're fine. Where'd he... Oh, there he is. It's like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. So, the Shock and Awe used to be a very iconic part of a combo that I made with my buddy at the time, Hengist, and helped to popularize it. It involved... Baby girl, you just gotta stop. It involved a Tyrael judging in with a Shock and Awe immediately on top of them, which was really fun. And basically, it made it so you could guarantee your Shock and Awe hit, which, again, was really fun. But the ability has changed a little bit since then. It doesn't quite do as much damage, but if you do pick up Hinterland's Blast, you are going to get cooldown reduction for every person that you hit. So you can use the ability significantly more often. That being said, it just, quite frankly, just doesn't deal enough damage to secure enough kills these days. The combo's kind of fallen off a little bit. So not really worth doing. But there was a time where it was very, very strong. Falstad also used to have a very easy build that I like to call the Zero Stress Falstad build. You can find it on the channel if you want to. I'm really thinking about which talent I want here. Probably the movement speed. You can find it on my channel if you want to. It was basically a Falstad build that used a lot of generic talents. Vampiric Assault, which we still have in some regards. It's Hammer Gains. Got a different name. Season Marksman, like we're doing right now. We used to use First Aid and Stone Skin. And the idea is that you could just trade really poorly all the time, but you have so many defensive tools that it didn't really matter. Hold on, suiciding. Be right back. Oh, yeah. The mind control. The mind control got a little value there. Dave. Anyway, it was a really fun way to play. And it's what I used to get to like rank 1 or whatever rank I got to before Hero League was in the system that it is right now. So there's a lot of history with me and Falstad, if you can't tell. We finished our season Marksman quest, which gives us the activatable, increase our attack speed by 40% for 3 seconds. This, of course, scales with our giant killer, scales with our hammer gains, and is a great way for us to just kind of deal damage to enemy heroes if they stand still or if we can keep up with them. The afterburner allows us to move with them a little bit easier, and the boomerang just adds more burst damage into the equation. And even without scaling up boomerang, it's still a really efficient way to clear most of a lane. It leads you to 1 Q and 1 auto attack per minion, which makes it easier to continue to stack up your seasoned marksman. So that's why we take it. Even though we're not a mage build, it's still a pretty good ability. So the enemy team's channeling here. We don't have Lucio, we don't have Artanis, so I'm not too crazy about poking in here. Was I rooted by Whitemane? Yeah. Okay. MC'd? No, I wasn't mind controlled. She just used it. I was rooted. I should have went with my gut and not checked it, but I did it anyway. Or, if I did still want to check it, I should have thrown out my Q first, rather than just walking right into it. Looks like the friendly team is still continuing to fight. Lucio's doing a hell of a lot of healing here. Oh, the Kel'Thuzad! Great combo on a very tanky character. Li Ming didn't get the memo that everyone else was leaving for some reason, though. Luckily, they came back to help her out, and she does pick up another kill. Good job. So basically, if you want to play Falstad, you have to be able to Marine Micro, you have to be able to stutter step, move in between auto attacks to keep up with your adversaries. You got to be able to aim your Q and hit it again at the right time for the best damage output. And you also have to be able to have your eyes glued to your map all the time because you become your team's anti-push hero. Usually you want to walk down and then fly back up to a team fight. But once you get used to it, he's actually a really, really fun hero. Is he as flashy as Genji? Does he do as much damage as Hanzo? Does he have crazy bursts like Li Ming? No, 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 no. But he's a pretty good jack of all trades. He's pretty good at everything that he does. Now, a lot of people with this particular build will tell you that Nexus Frenzy is the way to go because it has a lot of synergy with everything that we've been doing so far. And that is very true. But the Wind Tunnel secures kills. The Wind Tunnel wins games. The Wind Tunnel is the mosh pit of mosh pits. The mosh pits of air attacks. You know what I'm saying? It's flashy. It does the job. The enemy team's pushing towards our core right now. I'm not too worried. I'm going to try to clear one more wave and then head back.
Magic flows through the temples. Guardians, do not let these mortals.
They don't have their healer. We should 100% fight middle. He better leave. Let's put it that way. He better leave. We do have level 20. The enemy team does not. And at a moment's notice, I can be wherever the team needs me. As long as I don't get rooted by Whitemane again. I thought you were staying in there a little bit longer. It's a little awkward. Go ahead and peel for her. Interrupt the mind control as well. Now, we showed Chen in our earlier A through Z video. The Mighty Gust is essentially the barrel. It's the barrel. If you can aim the gust at a wall, whoever is impacted by that gust is going to be stunned over and over and over and over, and they're not going to be able to cast any movement abilities to get out of it. They're not going to be able to cast any skills whatsoever to help save them. It's effectively a really long silence. A really long silence that also keeps them fucking still if you aim it in the appropriate position. I'll clean it up.
My temple's magic subsides.
I think we're overreacting to this a little bit. That's okay. We're at 61 stacks on our Seasoned Marksman, which means our auto attack is hitting for 61 more damage than it would otherwise. We should definitely move in for this. We have the Gust ready to go. We should be able to secure it, no problem. The enemy team also doesn't have their main front line with them. They do, however, have a mind control. And for some reason, our Tantalus is split pushing. That's how you throw games level 20, boys. We should still be able to get this, no problem, though. I gotta go back to the top lane and defend that. Basically, we need to play passively until we have everyone up. I'm trying to guide these guys over to this other building rather than going towards our core. Taking a little damage for it, but it's probably worth, assuming I don't get dunked. And I just need to focus the catapult. Okay. Clear one more wave, and then I can go help the team. Hopefully we're still keeping up map pressure. It looks like we are taking those mercenary camps over right now. I'll go get full health. Artanis is back up right now. We have a lot to lose here if we're not careful. I'm going to be walking up. I'm actually going to push top back out more. And then fly wherever the team goes. We need as much room in this lane as possible. 67 stacks of Seasoned Marksman. I hope you're not trying to escape this way. Got some bad fucking news for you. You can't. You can't. You can't go that way. We should just head for core right now. Come on, team. Come on, don't be shy. We have 50 seconds. Let's go. And that's the power of the level 20 upgrade, boys. That's why we take it. It's super strong. It can stop teams in their tracks and win games. All right, GG. So, look at that XP contribution. Look at that siege damage. Our hero damage could have been a little bit better, I'll admit, but that is why Falstad is strong. That is why he's one of my most played characters, and that's why you owe it to yourself to try him out. All right, all right. Did I miss any fun facts here? I probably did. I probably did. So, a fun fact about Falstad, and I learned this from one of the Blizzard animators, and I hope I'm not misquoting here. He doesn't actually have legs. His body is fused to his griffin, which goes by the name of Swiftbeak. So, these little legs you see here are just floppy skin. He doesn't have any bones in him. Instead, all of the structural I can't say that. What happened? All of the components that actually make him work are in the griffin and in his torso, basically. Structural. There it is. That's the word. That's the word. Any other fun facts? Shakana was the old name. Crispy Taco. Kerrigan used to be able, when she had the friend or foe thing, which allows her to go to jump to a friendly hero with your Q. She doesn't have it anymore. But with Falstad, you used to be able to fly, and right before the takeoff, Kerrigan could jump to you, and you would both soar over the map together. Yeah, whatever. You could do that if you really wanted to, I guess. It wasn't that good. You're still just a Kerrigan showing up out of nowhere. You're really squishy, and if you overextend, you die. But, yeah, you can do it. You can do it if you wanted to. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I mean, this show really isn't about talents that I use, so all of you posting shitty-ass comments about it can fuck off. But if you want to know what talents I used, it was Seasoned Marksman, Hammer Gains, Boomerang, Mighty Gus, Giant Killer. Then we went for Afterburner, but I think all of these are pretty okay. And then Wind Tunnel at level 20. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.